Namaskaram. My name is Ramesh Natarajan, and you have reached the GRD Iyers GuruCool YouTube channel. We are an inclusive team, and we especially encourage ladies to chant, especially Vedas. Dear friends, we are learning Durga Saptashati as per Guptavati, and though we teach this every year, this year we are focused on the explanations. Of course, training will be given in the chanting too, but the focus will be around 80% on the explanations and 20% on the chanting. And those who want specific in-depth training in chanting, you can visit the previous year's videos, and you can also visit the um, entire book recited by me, and with I recite the sloka once and then the students recite the sloka twice, all of Durga Saptashati. Those training videos are also available. So for training purposes, please use those. So let's start with a prayer. Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We had completed up to sloka number 13, I believe. So we will move on to sloka number 14. Let me share my screen. And today I'll start with Anita Veerasekaranji.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Let me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with sloka number 14. So let me mark, or even as you chant, I'll mark the dirghams. Okay. We'll start with sloka number 14. Mahabale, sorry, Mahabale Mahotsahe.
Mahabale Mahotsahe. Mahabale Mahotsahe.
Mahabhaya Vinashini.
Mahabhaya Vinashini. Mahabhaya Vinashini.
Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini.
Mahabale Mahotsahe. Mahabhaya Vinashini. Mahabale Mahotsahe. Mahabhaya Vinashini.
Trahi man devi dushprekshye.
Trahi man devi dushprekshye. Trahi man devi dushprekshye.
Shatrunam bhayavardhini.
Shatrunam bhayavardhini. Shatrunam bhayavardhini.
Trahi man devi dushprekshye Shatrunam bhayavardhini.
Trahi man devi dushprekshye shatrunam bhayavardhini. Trahi man devi dushprekshye shatrunam bhayavardhini.
Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini. Trahi man devi dushprekshye Shatrunam bhayavardhini. 4 times, please.
Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini. Trahi man devi dushprekshe shatrunam bhayavardhini. Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini. Trahi man devi dushprekshe shatrunam bhayavardhini. Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini. Trahi man devi dushprekshe shatrunam bhayavardhini. Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini. Trahi man devi dushprekshe shatrunam bhayavardhini.
Okay, thank you, Anita ji. So basically here it means Mahabale, the very strong, the one who is invincible. Mahotsahe, utsaham, the one who is forever enthusiastic, very enthusiastic. And Mahabhaya Vinashini, the one who drives away fear, the one who drives away all kinds of fears. So fears can be of many types. There can be fear of death, there can be fear of poverty, there can be fear of sickness, many types of fears, all of them self-created. It's our mind that creates and projects these fears. So Devi helps to get rid of all these different kinds of fears, and she instills great enthusiasm, great confidence, and great positivity in us. Trahiman Devi Dushprekshye Shatrunam Bhayavardhini. We are pleading to Devi or praying to Devi to protect us and to increase the fears of our enemies. Here, I think it is meant more in a physical sense only, to increase the fears of our enemies. So probably here the connotation is more in terms of a real battle or a real war. Because if you take it in a philosophical sense, so far we have maintained that the greatest enemies we have are all internal. So logically, how can the fears of our enemies be increased? So it is logically, it is more applicable to external enemies in this particular shloka, in my opinion. So in Rudram, there is an anusangam. Anusangam is a repetitive line that comes. What is that line? Teshagum sahasrayo jane vadhanvani tanmasi. May my enemies be removed from me thousands of yojanas. Yojana is a particular measurement of distance. Thousands of yojanas, may they be driven away from me. So that prayer is there in Rudram also. So here it is a prayer to Devi, the all-powerful, to instill great enthusiasm and to in us, and to instill and increase fears in our enemies. Now, if you are Devi, you are all powerful. So we have to remind ourselves all the time, whenever we feel a little bit weak in our resolve, we should say, who are we? Many a time, our own parents or our own teachers exhort us, say, whose son are you? Whose student are you? Come on. So they sometimes remind us what is our origin, and that puts great strength in us. Sometimes people use the strength of the community also. For example, Rajputs, right? They encourage each other by saying, look, we are Rajputs, let's not forget that. The same thing goes for various communities. Therefore, we have to remember that we are Devi, and we have to be forever enthusiastic, forever strong. And if we are Devi, we have to increase the fears of our enemies. And how is that done? Remember, in a physical battle, when one is opposing the other, or when two armies are facing each other, let me tell you straight away, both people, both persons or both armies will be scared. It is very normal. It is not abnormal. It is quite normal. But the one who goes confidently forward will always win. This is true even in games like cricket matches, football matches. We have seen so many times that in football, a team is down to 10 and has won against a team with 11. Suddenly, the team that with only 10 people, because one got suspended because of a red card, suddenly they know defense is not an option. If you defend against 11, you're going to lose. So they go on the attack. In cricket too, we have seen when there's nothing to lose, people attack to win. Similarly, this puts fears in the hearts of the opposition. Attitude matters a lot. And by that attitude, the fears of our enemies increase. So you can look at it in that particular way also. The next set of shlokas look at Devi protecting us from various directions. And it's quite interesting because I'll also show you the nyasam down the line. And there are different Devis protecting us from the same direction. So it's not the same Devi that is named here protecting us in a particular direction. The same Devi is not the one who is protecting us in the nyasams. So the question will come, what does that mean? Is this correct or that correct? Or both correct? If both are correct, how can that be correct? So that's something for us to ponder over and find a reasonable answer to that. Now, I will go for the next shloka to shloka number 15. And for shloka number 15, I will call upon, let me see, I'll call upon, should I call upon? I'll call upon Prashanti ji.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram. So we go to shloka number 15.
Okay, Guruji.
Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri.
Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri. Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri.
Agneyamagni devata.
Agneyamagnidevata. Agneyamagnidevata.
Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri. Agneyamagni devata.
Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri. Agneyamagnidevata. Pracyam rakshatu mamaindri. Agneyamagnidevata.
So here it is important to watch out this particular place, Neya, because normally people chant Agneya, Agneya. It's not Agneya, Agne. So there's a lot of dirgham with holdings here. Pracyam Rakshatu Main Dri, but Dri is a dirgham, but not a dirgham with holding. So you have to make sure that Main is dirgham with holding and Dri is just a dirgham. Agne Yamagni Devata, ending dirgham. Pracyam Rakshatu. Rakshatu goes very fast. Mamaindri Ag. Look for the timing. Main Dri Ag. Ne Yamagni Devata. Next we go to second line. Dakshine Vatu Varahi.
Dakshine vatu varahi. Dakshine vatu varahi.
Nairityam Khadgadharini.
Nairityam khadgadharini. Nairityam khadgadharini.
Dakshine Vatu Varahi. Nairityam Khadgadharini.
Dakshine vatu varahi. Nairityam khadgadharini. दक्षिणे वतु वाराही नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणे
प्राच्यां रक्षतु मामैन्द्री आग्नेय्यामग्निदेवता दक्षिणेवतु वाराहि नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणी 4 times.
प्राच्यां रक्षतु मामैन्द्री आग्नेय्यामग्निदेवता दक्षिणे वतु वाराही नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणे प्राच्यां रक्षतु मामैन्द्री आग्नेय्यामग्निदेवता दक्षिणे वतु वाराही नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणे प्राच्यां रक्षतु मामैन्द्री आग्नेय्यामग्निदेवता दक्षिणे वतु वाराही नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणे प्राच्यां रक्षतु मामैन्द्री आग्नेय्यामग्निदेवता दक्षिणे वतु वाराही नैऋत्यां खड्गधारिणे.
Thank you very much. Nagesri has a question.
Namaskaram, sir. Now here, Prachyam Rakshatu Mamaindri, is there a pause before Agneya, Agmagni Devata?
No. That nirikti rule is not applied for slokas. I'm not saying it cannot be applied. I'm not sure, but we are not applying. We are applying it for Vedam, but not for slokas. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, thank you, Prasanti ji. Prachyam rakshatum rakshatu mamaindri. Prachya means east. The direction east is protected by Aindri. Aindri is a Shakti of Indra. Aindri is the Shakti or the consort of Indra. So the east is protected by Indra. And in this context, from a Devi perspective, from a feminine aspect, it is protected by the Shakti of Indra called Aindri. We have seen this in Mahanyasam. Om Lam Trata Ramindram Avita Ramindra Gum Have Have Suhavagum Shuramindram Hovenu Shakram Puruhotamindra Swastino Bhagava Dhatmindraha Lamindra Yanamaha. So, the Lam Bijam, by the way, stands for Indra as well as Ganapati. So, here, the eastern direction from a male deity perspective is protected by Indra. From a feminine aspect perspective, it is Aindri, the consort of Indra. Agneya Magni Devata, southeast. The direction of, so if it's in a clockwise, yes, Vijaya?
Sorry, Guruji, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to ask, Aindri and Indrani, like, how are they different?
No, they're not different.
They're one and the same. Okay.
No. So the southeast, the male deity who guards it is Agni. So his consort or his Shakti is the one that is protecting the southeast direction. Dakshine Vatu Varahi, the south. So if you see in a clockwise, if you see the 8 cardinal points, it is east. Then to the right of east is southeast. Then you move down to south. From south, you move down to southwest or Nirriti. So south is Dakshina. And then as you move down, southwest will be Nirriti. And then you move a little bit to the left, that will be west. Little bit to the further to the left will be northwest, which is the Vayu area. Then you move up a little on the left side, which will become north for Kubera. And then you move up further, you'll reach northeast for Ishana. So these 8 cardinal points, we are talking about who is protecting those directions, and you will find that it is the Shakti of the male deity that popularly we talk about Dasha Dikpalaka, Ashta Dikpalakas for the 8 directions, Dasha Dikpalaka for the 10 directions. When you say 10 directions, one is for upwards, heavenwards, and one for downwards towards Patalam or below the ground. So 8 plus 2, 10. So now we are talking about, we covered east, we covered southeast. Now we move to the south. South is protected by Varahi. And further down, Nirriti area is, or the southwest area is protected by Khadgadharini. Khadga means scimitar. The one that you see in the hands of Kali, that sword is a little bit different than the regular sword. You'll see that it comes up a little and then it curves up a little. That's a scimitar. So Khadga means scimitar. And the Devi who guards the southwest is Nirriti. Now, interesting point. Nirriti comes both in the male aspect as well as in the female aspect, because Nirriti is supposed to be what's the right technical term for it? Like Ardhanarishwara. What's the English technical term for it?
Gender neutral or transgender?
Gender neutral, yes. So you can say that. So both in the, from the male aspect as well as the female aspect, it is Nirriti, but usually addressed from a feminine aspect only, as is done even in our normal Indian social parlance, right? Transgenders are addressed from in their female, as a female only, generally. Okay? Not to dwell too much on this, but you have to know about this. The Nirriti Devi is guarding the southwest. Next, we go to Varuni. So let me pick Vijay Gauriji for the next sloka, which is sloka number 16. Pratichyam Varuni Rakshet.
Pratichyam Varuni Rakshed. Pratichyam Varuni Rakshed.
Vayavyam Mrigavahini.
Vayavyam Mrigavahini. Vayavyam Mrigavahini.
Pratichyam Varuni Rakshet Vayavyam Mrigavahini.
Pratichyam Varuni Rakshed Vayavyam Mrigavahini. Pratichyam Varuni Rakshed Vayavyam Mrigavahini.
Udichyam Rakshakau Beri.
Udichyam Rakshakau Beri. Udichyam Rakshakau Beri.
Ishanyam Shuladharini.
Ishanyam Shuladharini. Ishanyam Shuladharini.
Udichyam Rakshakau Beri Ishanyam Shuladharini.
Udichyam Rakshakau Beri Ishanyam Shuladharini. Udichyam Rakshakau Beri Ishanyam Shuladharini.
Pratichyam Varuni Rakshet Vayavyam Mrigavahini. Udichyam Rakshakau Beri Ishanyam Shuladharini. 4 times.
Pratichyam Varuni Rakshed Vayavyam Mrigavahini. उदीच्यां रक्ष कौबेरी ईशान्यां शूलधारिणी प्रतीच्यां वारुणी रक्षेद्वायव्यां मृगवाहिनी उदीच्यां रक्ष कौबेरी ईशान्यां शूलधारिणी प्रतीच्यां वारुणी रक्षेद्वायव्यां मृगवाहिनी उदीच्यां रक्ष कौबेरी ईशान्यां शूलधारिणी प्रतीच्यां वारुणी रक्षेद्वायव्यां मृगवाहिनी उदीच्यां रक्ष कौबेरी ईशान्यां शूलधारिणी.
Thank you so much, Vijayaji. Pratichyam Varuni Rakshid. The western direction is protected by the consort or Shakti of Varuna Devata, who is the god of all waters. She is Varuni. And the northwest or the northwest area is protected by Mrigavahini, the one who rides the deer, and that is Vayu Devata. So his consort also rides the deer. Udichyam, which is the north, is protected by the Shakti or consort of Kubera or Soma. Kubera is another name, Soma. And northeast is protected by Shuladharini, Ishana Sarva Vidyanam. So it is the form of Shiva that protects the northeast, which is also the most auspicious area. Northeast is always considered the most auspicious area for doing pujas, homams, etc. And that is protected by the consort of Ishana, which is also a form of Devi herself. Shuladharini, the one who has Shulam or the spear in hand, that is Durga Devi. So northeast is protected by Durga Devi. I'll go into a little bit on the inner meanings once we cover all the directions. We'll also go to the Nyasam and see where the little differences are. Let me go to Sunita ji and we will start shloka number 17. Urdhvam Brahmani me rakshe.
ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत्
Dadhastat Vaishnavi Tatha.
दधस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा ददस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा
Urdhvam Brahmani me rakshe dadhastat Vaishnavi Tatha.
ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् दधस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् दधस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा
Evam dasha disho rakshech.
एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत्
Chamunda Shavavahana.
चामुण्डा शववाहना चामुण्डा शववाहना
Evam dasha disho rakshech. Chamunda Shavavahana.
एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना
Urdhvam Brahmani me rakshe dadhastat Vaishnavi Tatha. Evam dasha disho rakshe Chamunda Shavavahana. 4 times.
ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् ततस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् ततस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् ततस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् ततस्तात् वैष्णवी तथा एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना.
Thank you, Sunita ji. Urdhvam means heavenwards or upwards in the heavenly direction, is protected by the Shakti or consort of Brahma or Brahmani or Saraswati. And towards the nether regions, towards the nether world, towards Patalam, is protected by the Shakti of Vishnu, that is Vaishnavi. So why the heavenly regions is protected by Brahma and why the Patalam area is protected by Vishnu? All that comes from our Puranic history, where there was an Agni Lingam and Shiva sent Brahma upwards and Vishnu downwards, asking them to find the source of the Agni Lingam. Both could not find. I don't want to dwell further on that, but as to why Brahma facing upwards, or Brahmani in this case, the consort of Brahma or Saraswati, and why Vaishnavi protecting the nether worlds is coming from, that's the source of that. Evam dasha disho rakshet. What are the 10 directions? Dasha disho, the 10 directions. We saw the 8 directions already. Indrani, or the consort of Indra, on the east. Then we saw the consort of Agni on the southeast. We saw the consort of Yama on the south. That is, here it says Varahi. The male aspect is Yama, the female aspect is Varahi. Here there is no real direct connection in terms of being a consort. So here there is no, that particular connection is not there. And then further down, Nirriti, southwest. Then we come to the west, which is Varuni, the consort of Varuna Devata. And then we come to the southwest, which is the Vayu area. The Shakti of Vayu Devata protects that. Then moving up north, the consort of Kubera, Kauberi, is protecting the northern regions. And then the northeast is protected by Khadgadharini or Durga herself, the Shakti of Shiva. And those are the 8 directions. Then the upward direction is protected by Saraswati, and the nether world or below earth is protected by Vaishnavi, the Shakti of Vishnu. Now, what is the significance of these directions? We'll try to understand. But before that, some technical chanting points I want to point out. Some of the slippery places. For example, Vinashini, Vardhini, they are not dirghams. Mahabale Mahotsahe Mahabhaya Vinashini, fail. Trahiman Devadushprekshe Shatrunam Bhayavardhini. Don't follow the pattern, please. Mahabhaya Vinashini Shatrunam Bhayavardhini. Then number 16, Kauberi. Ri is a Hrasvam here. So if you say Udicham Raksha Kauberi Isha, fail. Udicham Rakshakau Beri Ishanyam. Similarly, Urdhvam, the chances are very high, you may actually make it a Hrasvam. Urdhvam Brahmani Me Rakshe. It should be Urdhvam Brahmani Me Rakshe. Make sure the knee is a Dhirgam. I pointed out all the slippery, all the banana peels. And wherever the Dhirgam is there towards the end, please exploit it to the maximum. Hitaya vai devata dharini vahini dharini tatha vahana. Make sure you follow that. Don't make devata dharini vahini, all that. Okay. Now, directions. You can look at directions from a physical aspect. For example, in a battle, anyone can be attacked from all the directions. That's in a physical, we're talking about physical protection there. In a philosophical sense, what can the directions mean? It can be distractions from different directions. It can be temptations from different directions. There is possibility of you being distracted from someone or something from any of these directions, which can distract you from your spiritual path. There is a very famous story that is narrated, and it comes in different forms. There was a boy studying Vedas, and opposite his house was a prostitute. This boy who was studying the Vedas found that customers were coming in and going out of the prostitute's house and was cursing her, thinking, why am I cursed with, having a house opposite this Vaishya. Upon their death, the prostitute found heaven and this boy got hell. The reason was very simple. The boy was given an opportunity to study the Vedas. Instead of doing that, he was distracted and focused somewhere else. And that lady got moksham because whatever fate had cursed her with, she followed through it gracefully. By side, she was continuing her whatever spiritual activity she was doing it. She was not distracted by the boy. The long and short of this is, whenever we are distracted, our senses are disturbed. The senses can be sense of smell, sense of hearing, sense of touch, sense of sight, vision, and what is the fifth one? Srotra, Tvak, Chiksha, Jihva, Grana. Did I cover all the five? Probably I did cover all the five. So,
Hearing.
Hearing, yeah. So, I'll tell you one important story regarding Swami Vivekananda also. Swami Vivekananda, when he was doing his meditation, he was doing it in Kolkata, right? And in Kolkata, where he was, there was a factory siren going off all the time. Time for work, for all the factory work. And he was getting very disturbed by it because the factory siren will go for early morning, then for the breaks, then for the lunch, then for the evening, and he would get very disturbed. And he complained to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And what did Ramakrishna tell him? Focus on that sound and eliminate it. it's a very simple guidance. He said that which causes you the disturbance, make it your focus so that it gets eliminated. Now he employed that in a positive sense. I'm telling you that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did something very opposite of what we are talking about. So, but he did it that in a positive sense, and that advice cannot be applied in all cases. Okay. So, whenever we quote an example, we have to quote that in proper context. Otherwise, one example, the weakness of all examples are they are applicable in one context. They cannot be applied broad brush everywhere. So, here, the distractions, your focus on your job, your focus on your goal, some gossip can disturb you. You're reading something that can disturb you. You're hearing something that can disturb you. You're smelling something that can disturb you. You're tasting something that can disturb you. You're touching something that can disturb you, and that can be coming from any direction. That can vitiate us from our spiritual path, and we should not allow that. Is what I am taking this from here. And who is the Devi who is protecting us in these 10 directions? Who is Devi?
Durga.
Who is Devi?
Chamunda.
After all these 3 classes, I'm repeating, who is Devi?
Ourselves.
Ourselves.
Ah,
We.
again, after 6 hours, when I say who is Devi, you are searching outside. You are
Ourselves. We have a
Devi.
Devi in
You
us.
have to look to yourself and call upon your strength for self-control. It's very simple. Definitely you can pray like this. There is nothing wrong. And the divine power will help you. But do not forget. Towards this, there is another interest. I know I'll come to you, Sunita ji. But let me also give you another example. Again, from one of these Ramakrishna Paramahamsa stories. There was a very devout person who was always praying Narayana, 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 Narayana. One day, he was going in a boat and there was a sudden flash flood and the boat was rocking and was going to tilt and capsize. Those who knew swimming, they jumped and they swam away, but this poor man did not know swimming. The man in charge of the boatman pleaded with him saying, please, let me help you. He said, no, Narayana will come and help me. Then the boatman also jumped and left. He kept waiting for Narayana. Some other boat came by, said, can we help you? He said, no, Narayana will come and help me. Another boat came. No, Narayana will help me. Ultimately, Narayana did not come and this poor fellow lost his life. And when he went to heaven and saw Narayana, he said, where were you? Narayana said, I sent you help. I sent you 3 boats. What were you doing? I sent you 3 boats. But this fellow wanted Narayana to come in his form. Are you getting the point? The point is, divine help will come to protect us. Definitely, we have to be self-dependent. But we should also recognize that the divine can come in many forms to protect us, and we should be alert to that. Okay. Yes, Sunita ji.
Guruji, mine is not the theory question, but in 17th first line in Telugu book, there is no dirgham for Brahmani. it is Brahma ni Rasvam. So I just wanted to point
Yeah,
that
that
out.
might have to be
I just
corrected.
looked. Yeah.
Okay, so we move to the next one, number 18. Let me go to Indira Bhaskara ji.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Jaya me agratasthaatu.
Jaya me agratastatu. Jaya me agratastatu.
Vijayasthaatu prishthatah.
Vijayastatu prushtataha. Vijayastatu prushtataha.
Jaya me agratasthaatu vijayasthaatu prishthatah.
Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha. Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha.
Ajita vama parshvetu.
Ajita vama parshvetu. Ajita vama parshvetu.
Dakshine chaparajita.
Dakshine chaparajita. Dakshine chaparajita.
Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita.
Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita.
Jaya me agratasthaatu vijayasthaatu prishthatah. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita.
Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita. Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita. Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita. Jaya me agratastatu vijayastatu prushtataha. Ajita vama parshvetu dakshine chaparajita.
Thank you, Indira ji. So there is a Devi called Jaya, and the request is to protect us from the front side. And another Devi called Vijaya to protect us on the back side. But when we say east and we say west, they are already protected, right? But I think the main difference is east is a direction, so it's bigger in terms of concept. West is a direction, so it's bigger in terms of concept. Whereas here it means immediate protection, right in front. Jaya right in front, and then Vijaya at the back. Ajita to protect the left side. Again, left side when you say is north, but north is again a direction, but here it is very precise. It is to the left side, immediate left side. Ajita to protect the left side, and right side, Dakshina means south side. The right side here, but here the word when it says Dakshine, it does not mean, it says south, but actually it means the right side, to be protected by Aparajita. Aparajita. Now, we are again praying to these Devis to protect us. Even if you take in a physical sense, let me ask again, who is Devi? It's us. Even if you want to take it in a physical sense, I do strongly believe that all of us must learn some way, some martial art for our own protection. I'm not digressing here. It may sound like a digression, but it is not. I think if you look at the Shaolin monks, they were not only spiritually inclined, but they were also learning martial arts. And even if you look in the Veda Patashalas in the Vedic times, all learned the martial arts also. Otherwise, how did Dronacharya teach martial arts or the art of fighting to the Pandavas and Kauravas? Definitely Dronacharya must have learned the Vedam, but he was a specialist in the art of warfare. The point I'm trying to drive is, when we are talking about getting protection from all the sides, how do you interpret this? If you are Devi, become like Devi, learn to protect yourself. This is the message I would take from this. Self-help is the best help. God helps those who help themselves. You have heard this statement, right? I didn't make this up. God helps those who help themselves. You start helping yourself, you become powerful. Okay. Then we go to sloka number 19. Let me go down. Let me pick Pavana ji for sloka number 19.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Shikham me dyoti nirakshe.
Shikham me dyoti nirakshe. Shikham me dyoti nirakshe.
So here we are cutting the sandhi in half, but actually it is rakshed uma murdhni, but it is okay. Like I said, all of us are aware it should be, if you split it, it will be rakshed uma, but we are learning this in a way, the way we'll be chanting. Duma murdhni vyavasthita.
Duma murdhni vyavasthita. Duma murdhni vyavasthita.
शिखां मे द्योति रक्षे दुमा मूर्धनि व्यवस्थिता.
शिखां मे द्योति निरक्षे धूमा मूर्ध्नि व्यवस्थिता. शिखां मे द्योति निरक्षे धूमा मूर्ध्नि व्यवस्थिता.
मालाधरी ललाटे चब.
मालाधरी ललाटे च. मालाधरी ललाटे च.
So we say cha, but they'll be holding with the ib once we go to bhravav. Bhravav rakshet yashasvini.
भ्रुवौ रक्षेद्यशस्विनी. भ्रुवौ रक्षेद्यशस्विनी.
मालाधरी ललाटे चप भ्रुवौ रक्षेत यशस्विनी.
मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद्यशस्विनी. मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद्यशस्विनी.
So all of you, please do watch out for all the hrasvam with holdings where I put the green. All watch out for the very tricky hrasvams. For example, here in sloka number 18, Jaya me agratasthathu vijayasthathu prithatah will be a fail in Gurukul. Sthathu, na sthathu. Again, ajitavama parsvetu. Don't do that. Ajitavama parsve to dakshine. That's correct chanting. Similarly, here look for the holding for the murdhniv vyavasthita. Again, chap bhruvau. शिखां मे द्योति नीरक्षे धूमा मूर्धनि व्यवस्थिता. मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेत् यशस्विनी. 4 times.
शिखां मे द्योति निरक्षे धूमा मूर्ध्नि व्यवस्थिता. मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद् यशस्विनी. शिखां मे द्योतिनी रक्षेदु मामूर्ध्निव्यवस्थिता मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद् यशस्विनी शिखां मे द्योतिनी रक्षेदु मामूर्ध्निव्यवस्थिता मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद् यशस्विनी शिखां मे द्योतिनी रक्षेदु मामूर्ध्निव्यवस्थिता मालाधरी ललाटे च भ्रुवौ रक्षेद् यशस्विनी.
Thank you, Bhavna ji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Shikha. Shikha is a tuft of hair at the back of the head. In those days, they used to maintain, the males used to maintain the tuft at the back of the head and tie them into a knot. The ladies also, tie the hair in a loop and make it a bun and put it at the back of the head. For example, we can see Jyotirmay ji doing that right now. So that is the shikha at the back, the bun at the back, or the knot at the back. That's to be, the request is, or the prayer is to have that protected by a Devi called Dyotini. And the Murdhini part, which is the top of the head, to be protected by Uma. Uma, as we know, is Parvati, to be protected by Uma. Mala dhari lalate chab. Lalatam is the forehead. So there are different parts of the head you should know. Lalatam is forehead, Murdhini is further up. That is to be protected by Mala Dhari, the one who is wearing the mala. Which are the Devis wearing the mala? We know Durga Devi. Sorry?
Brahmacharini also wears the mala.
Which Devi is not wearing the mala? You tell me. So, for example, Durga Devi is wearing a mala of lotuses that will never fade. All of us know from studying the Durga Saptashati. In the second chapter, she is presented with a garland of lotuses that will never fade. Amla napankajam malam shirasyurase chaparam. What about Lalita Mahatripura Sundari? She is also wearing a mala. So which Devi will you choose? Lalatam. Why not Kali? Mundamala.
Lalita Devi.
How do you know? It's a multiple choice question. Like, kaun banega crorepati? Audience poll le. So this is left for us to guess which one is this and which one. The answer is not given, but you have to kind of make an intelligent guess. So Kali with the Mundamala. The Mundamala represents, all of you should know what the Mundamala is. The beheaded heads that she wears as a mala represent the 51 matrikas. I don't know how many of you know this. Amma, Mimi, Mumum, Rum, Rum, Lum, Lum, E, My, Mom, Amha, Kankang, Kangam, Chan, 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 Tan, 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 Pam, 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 Yam, Ram, Lam, Vam, Samkram, Samam, Lam, Cham, 51. The Mundamala represents the matrikas. Many people don't know this. So, all aksharas are separate, right? They are not joined, correct? So, Lalatam, you have to now bring the concept of Agnya Chakra a little bit. So, whom will you focus on the Agnya Chakra?
Lalita Devi.
Lalita definitely fits. Also, Kali fits.
Chamundeshwari Devi.
Durga Devi also fits.
Chamundi.
Now, let us look at the sloka. Ghanta Shola Halani Shanka Musale Chakram Dhanusya. No, this is Mala. That is Ghanta. This is Mala. So, Mala here, you can definitely say Lalita Devi, you can say Kali, you can say Durga Devi. Okay, now we'll say Durga Devi is in the Muladhara Chakram. But remember, in Lalita Sahasranamam, Lalita is also referred to as Durga, and in Durga Ashtotram, she is also referred to as Lalita. So, and also Bhaskaraya has said there is no difference between Navakshari mantra and Panchadashi mantra. They are one and the same. So it's not clearly answered, but you can imagine any of these devis protecting the lalatam. Then bhruva are the eyebrows. The eyebrows are protected by Devi called Yashasvini. The importance of Shikha I have mentioned in the SriVidya Navavarana Puja book. There is one part of the puja in the very beginning when we touch the tuft at the back of the head. All SriVidya Upasaka should know that. What is the mantra that is chanted?
Namaha, that
Namaha.
Vignotsaranavan.
When we touch the back of the head. Na Maha. Namaha has a very deep meaning. Namaha, the normal meaning is worship, right? But the inner meaning is Na No Maha. I am not the Ma. So in SriVidya, there are Panchamakaras, the 5 M's, the 5 words starting with Ma, and those are the items that are used in the puja. What are the Panchamakaras? Mamsam, Madhyam, Maithunam, then
Mudra,
Matsya, and Mudra.
Mudra.
Of this, Ma, one of the Ma's is Mamsam or flesh. That does not mean meat. It refers to the Jivatma, us. Flesh and blood. In English, we say flesh and blood. When we say one of the Ma's refers to us, the Jivatma. So when we touch the Shikha in that puja, say Namaha, means I am not this body. I am the divine consciousness. I am not this body means what are you leaving unsaid? But is the truth. I am that. Tattvamasi, I am that. I am that divine consciousness. So in that puja, this is touched to mention that, number one. Number two, the Shikha has a great significance in all rituals. And the Shikha has to be tied. Why do the male priests have the Shikha? When they do the Abhishekam in the Sannadhi, they will tie the Shikha. If you remember a mother who is bathing her child, what is one of the actions they will do is to first tie the hair. So the Matru Bhavana in the Sannadhi, whether the Abhishekam is being done to a male deity or a female deity, the priest there becomes the mother bathing them. So tying the Shikha has got lot of significance. Even if you look at our own history of Chanakya, when he was insulted in the court of Nanda of the Magadha dynasty, he unknotted his Shikha. A Shikha is the sign of a Brahmana. He unknotted the Shikha and said, I will knot this only when I finish you and your descendants. I'll finish your Vamsam. He swore in the court. And only after he destroyed Nanda and his dynasty with the help of Chandragupta Maurya, he knotted it back. So Shikha has a very great significance in Sanatana Dharma, whether it is for ladies or for gents. And that is why the special protection being asked for Shikha. The Murdhini part is the most softest part on the top of the head. And it's a very, very vulnerable part, and hence protection is being sought for that area. The lalatam area is also a very, very vulnerable part for attack, physical attack also. Why do we wear a kumkumam or a bindi in the lalatam area? Because a person can be hypnotized if the focus is kept on an unprotected lalatam area. People can control you by looking at your, especially if they know how to do it, if they look at you in the face and focus totally here, they can take control of your senses. That is why we have this practice of putting kumkum, vibhuti, everything to protect the lalatam area. Distraction can happen also. When people focus on your lalatam area, you can be disturbed. That protection for lalatam area, to why? For what reason? Again, so that we can focus on our spiritual pursuits. Yes, Sunita ji.
Guruji, Shikha Bandhanam is also for, I remember that Shikha Bandhanam is done to also protect if you're chanting something, Vedas or whatever that is, the mantras, it should not go down the earth or whatever that is. So we have to tie our hair and
Down
do
the earth is normally protection is given in terms of wooden seed, which
asana
is a
shuddhi.
non-conductor. But the Shikha, even for during Upanayanam, before Upanayanam, there is one of the 16 samskaras of the Chaula Karma, which is tonsuring the head, removing all the hair on the head except the Shikha. Shikha has a great significance in our Sanatana Dharma from a ritualistic perspective. Okay. Now we go to the next one, sloka number 20. I'll call Sangeeta Patel ji to help me with sloka number 20.
Namaskar.
Namaskaram. Trinetra chab. Okay. Let me add the green here. There's a holding with the ib. Trinetra chab bhruvor madhye.
त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये
Yamaghanta च नासिके.
यमघण्टा च नासिके यमघण्टा च नासिके
त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर् मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके.
त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके
शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर् मध्ये.
शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये
श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी.
श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी
शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर् मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी.
शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी.
All of you watch for Dirgham with holding. Shor, Yesh, Shrot, Yor. Shankhini Chakshushor Madhye Shrotrayor So normal chanting or mediocre chanting is Shankhini, Chakshushor Madhye, Jyotra, Shrotra, Yordvara Vasini without any details. Can't do like that. Even if you do speedy chanting, Shankhini, Chakshushor Madhye, Shrotra, Yordvara Vasini is the right way to chant. Please make a note of it. So I'm going to read both lines and then have Sangeeta ji repeat 4 times. Trinetra cha bhruvor madhye yamaghanta channasike Shankhini chakshushor madhye shrotrayor dvaravasini.
त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी त्रिनेत्रा च भ्रुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोत्रयोर्द्वारवासिनी.
Guruji, you're on mute.
Guruji.
Guruji, you're still on mute.
Okay, sorry. So, thank you, Sangeeta ji. Trinetra cha bhruvor madhye. Bhruva means eyebrows. In between the eyebrows, let the spot in between the eyebrows be protected by Trinetra, the one with the 3 eyes. Who is the one with the 3 eyes?
Shiva.
Shiva. Who is the Shakti of Shiva?
Devi.
Who is Devi here?
Durga.
Durga. Yes. Okay. You can also say Durga is, I'm Durga. But again, we're going in between the two Dvaitam and Advaitam. But here it refers to Durga. Okay. Then let Durga protect in between my eyebrows. So there is also a reference to the Agnya Chakra. Lalatam area is strictly not really Agnya Chakra. It is the mid forehead. But in between the eyebrows is definitely, there is a reference to the Agnya Chakra. And it refers to Trinetra, the one who has 3 eyes, which I think is only Durga here. Yamaghanta cha nasike. May the nose be protected by Yamaghanta. Who is Yamaghanta? Again, it is not in many of the places. If you see, it says the Devi called Yamaghanta. Is there a Devi called Yamaghanta, or is it being referred to somebody? I dare say it refers to Durga again. If you see, she is also presented with the bell. One of the things carried by Durga is a bell, ringing the bell.
Chandraghanta.
But then that is the element of moon comes.
Yeah.
But here Yamaghanta means related to Yama. Now Durga is the one who brings Yama to the enemies, right? Physically speaking, who brings death to the enemies. So when she rings her bell, in English they say death knell, sounding the death knell. So ringing that bell of Durga means sounding death for the enemies. Shankhini chakshushor madhye. In between the eyes now, not between the eyebrows, now it is shifting lower to the eyes, is Shankhini. So a Devi called Shankhini is being referred. But again, who carries the Shankha? Which Devi carries the Shankha? There are many Devis who carry the Shankha. Lakshmi carries the Shankha.
Vaishnavi.
Sorry?
Chamundi carries the
Vaishnavi.
Chamundi carries.
Yeah, there are many Devis who carries the Shankha. So any one of them you can, there is really not, it's just a Shankini. So it can be any one of them. Shrotrayor Dwara Vasini. The ears are protected by Dwara Vasini. Again, it does not really specify who it is. Maybe there is a Devi called Dwara Vasini. That's what all the texts say. But it probably does refer to something more than that. The ears are the place of Yama. Okay? I think south, right? But it's on both sides. So this one has to be looked into a little bit deeper. But anyway, everywhere it says Dwara Vasini. So for now, we'll just assume there's a Devi called Dwara Vasini who protects the ears. But once again, whenever you look at it, look at the philosophical sense also. Bhruvor Madhye Agnya Chakra, which is so vital for our meditation purposes, has to be protected properly. Our nostrils, our nose is also one of the ways of realizing Devi has to be protected. Our eyes are extremely important for realizing Devi in everything that we see. Whatever we are hearing is also a way of realizing Devi. Those needs to be protected also. Now we move to sloka number 21. For sloka number 21, let me call upon Kartik ji.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Kapo laukalikaarakshet.
Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Kapo laukalikaarakshet.
Karnamule tushankari.
Karnamule tushankari. Karnamule tushankari.
Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari.
Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari. Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari.
Nasikayam sugandha cha.
Nasikayam sugandha cha. Nasikayam sugandha cha.
Uttaroshthe cha charchika.
Uttaroshthe cha charchika. Uttaroshthe cha charchika.
Nasikayam sugandha cha uttaroshthe cha charchika.
Nasikayam sugandha cha uttaroshthe cha charchika. Nasikayam sugandha cha uttaroshthe cha charchika.
Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari. Nasikayam sugandha cha uttaroshthe cha charchika. 4 times.
Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari. Nasikayam sugandha cha uttaroshthe cha charchika. Kapo laukalikaarakshet. Karnamule tushankari. Nasikayam sugandha cha उत्तरोष्ठे च चर्चिका कपोलौकालिका रक्षेत् कर्णमूले तु शाङ्करी नासिकायां सुगन्धा च उत्तरोष्ठे च चर्चिका कपोलौकालिका रक्षेत् कर्णमूले तु शाङ्करी नासिकायां सुगन्धा च उत्तरोष्ठे च चर्चिका.
Very good. Thank you, Karthik ji.
Thank you.
Kapolav Kalika Rakshet. Kapalam means the scalp. Let the scalp be protected by Kalika or Kali. Karnamule, the base or the inner ears, let it be protected by Shankari. Shankari is nothing but the Shakti of Shankara. Nasikayam or the nostrils be protected by Sugandha. So there is a Devi called Sugandha. Let her protect, or I pray that she protects my nostrils. Uttaroshthe cha Charchika. Upper lip be protected by a Devi called Charchika. Again, the scalp is a very vulnerable portion of the body, physically speaking, and let Kalika protect it. Now, whether, again, all of these parts, the ears, the nose, and the lips, the tongue, all of them help in, the tongue basically helps in the protection of sound, and the lips help to guard the mouth. All of these are faculties that help us to realize Devi. They are faculties protected by the divine for a divine purpose, and we should ensure that they are used for the divine purpose. Now, before we conclude today, I wanted to share with you, first read this, what it says. Pracyam Rakshatu Mamaindri Agneyamagnidevata Dakshinevata Varahi Nairutyam Khadgadharini Pratichyam Varuni Rakshet Vayabhyam. So we have different directions being protected by all these Devis. Now, if you go to page number, Dr. Vaishali, you had a question? I don't know, I see 2-3 raised
Guruji,
hands.
Kapala is skull and Kapolo is cheek. What is
Kapolo could be cheeks, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji. Yes.
Kapalam, Kapolo. Yes, Kapolo would be cheeks. My apologies. Kapolo would be the cheeks. Cheeks be protected by Kali. Thank you for that. Thank you. What did I want to say? Yeah, page number 50. So we come to the Nyasams. Okay, let us look at this one. Matrigana Panjaran Nyasaha. Hreem Brahmi Purvasyam Mam Patu. May the east be protected by Brahmi. That is Shakti of Brahma, that is Saraswati. Maheshwari Agneyam Mam Patu. May Maheshwari protect the southeast. But there we saw protected by the Shakti of Agni or the consort of Agni. Kaumari Dakshinasya Mam Patu. But there it was Varahi. Do you see what I'm saying? So there is a variation. And if you come down further,
But those matas are resembling our SV, SV,
Or what?
or Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, SriVidya.
Correct. But what I mean to say is one set of Devis there are protecting, and here we find. So the question is there a conflict? Are both correct or both wrong, or what is it? Similarly, when you come here, Kamalankusha Mandita Nandaja Purvangam me path, Purva Angam, all the body parts on the east. This one probably is okay because it is looking at all the body parts as a total component in the east. But we also saw Jaya me agrataf patu Vijaya Prishtataha,
Swahata.
right? So there also we saw here, but here it's a little bit different who is protecting. So
Guruji, here it says for a particular purpose, Sri Matruka Gananyasa Trilokya Vijaya. So it is for different purposes. So is it like that?
no, it says that the purpose of this nyasam, when you do this, the benefit of this nyasam, I think it's given at the end of every page. The benefit
No,
of this
I'm
nyasam,
saying, is it based on the different purposes, the different matas are
that
placed
could
in
be
those?
one way of looking at it. But I am also thinking that these are different layers of protection also.
Yes, Guruji.
These are different layers of protection. So the other way to look at it is, in Devi Kavacham, they are already there. Whereas in Nyasam, you have to touch and invoke. Is another way of looking at it, right? In Devi Kavacham, it says they are already there. May she protect this side, may she protect that side. But here, when you do how many people know Nyasams, right? So when you do Nyasam means it's a purposeful invocation for what? Reciting Durga Saptashati. So these questions, when they arise, you have to find the answers also. Why there is a conflict and what could be the reason? These are not explicitly mentioned anywhere, but we have to find a reasonable answer. Okay. So once again, in conclusion, always remember who is Devi. It is you. Through the process of Nyasam, through the process of Mantra Japam, you realize yourself. Become self-reliant. Invoke the strength within you. Once you do that, once you tap into the energies of your own faculties, of your own body, you will be connected to the divine energy and your strength will grow. Look at some very practical examples. Mahatma Gandhi was thrown out of the train in South Africa in the middle of the night. He did not bother and he protested. He found the inner strength. He found the inner Devi. When he did that, the whole world connected with him. Look at Nelson Mandela. The man who used to beat him daily in the prison later on became his best friend. The point is, if you find yourself and break open the shackles of what people will think about me, should I do this, should I not do that, you cut through all the clutter and you find your strength, you will get connected to the divine strength. Let me make a last point. There are people in the world who are thinking negatively, correct? And are they more or less? They are more. And there are a group of people who are always talking positive, correct? So think of the vibrations of all the negative people thinking negatively, and it is pervading the atmosphere, correct? When you think negatively, where do you think you will tune into? Which bundle of energy do you think you will tune into? The negative bank, and your negativity will grow. Yes or no?
Yes, Guruji.
When you think positively, you have to think a little bit more than thinking negative to connect with a small bank of positive energy somewhere. If you think negative, you'll get negatively energized very fast. But you have to think positive several times intensively to access that bundle of positive energy. Same thing goes for covered eyes. To run away, 99 people will run away. So that cowardly feeling, mob psychology, right, is always there. But in all battles, you will see when the army is running away out of fear, the commander, if he runs forward, they will follow. Because that commander who is running forward is the source of positive energy. That is why in the Indian Army is the only army in the world where the officer leads the battle. I don't know how many of you know this. You should know your Indian Army. In the Indian Army, it is the officer who leads the battle, not the soldier. The soldier follows. In other countries, officers sit back, the soldier goes front. The loss of officers in the Indian Army is highest in the world, but Indian Army believes officer leads, soldiers follow. And that's why that has been so effective, but at a high cost, no doubt. But not to digress, the point I'm trying to say is that bravery, courage, positive thinking is all available in the cosmos in very small quantities, but you have to tap into it. How do you tap into this? You make your body a better receptive power to tap into that. How do you make your body into a better receptive power? Japam. When you do japam, it removes the negative qualities and makes you a better receptor. And when you are vibrating with the japam, the mantra, it will connect. I cannot explain this funda in a more simpler way. For every person who says yes, there will be 10 people say no. So, dear friends, the long and short of this is, when I say become Devi, how do you become Devi? By mantra japam, by nyasam, by realizing your inner Shakti. It's quite simple in theory, but difficult in practice. But that's how great people have done it. Some have done it naturally, some have discovered it. But like anything, you have to practice. You have to practice. Listen, friends. It is natural to fall down, but the hero is the one who gets up. You will get knocked down. You will get beaten down, but you have to get up. Fight again. For example, if you're doing your sadhana and you fail in the sadhana, forgive yourself, get up, start again. That is a sign of a courageous spiritual person who is starting to realize what is Shakti. Don't look outside, look within you. You are Devi. And then, like a very strong person with a good constitution, no virus will touch that person. But the virus will make the others sick, correct? But if you are strong internally, your health is strong, you will not be affected. Think of it that way. Negativity will always there, it will not affect you because you are a positive person. Negative person will affect only the negative person. What is the larger point here? Choose your environment. Carefully build your own environment. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have to underline this more. There are certain things in life we don't have a choice. But there are certain things in our life we have choice. Make that bold choice. Thank you so much. I hope all of you are enjoying this class and all the very best. Jai Chandi. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaskaram, Guruji.